What's going on, guys? We are back with some NFL Sunday action. We are up 2.62 units from Thursday, and that brings us to a total just shy of 8 units on the season. Looking to keep that rolling. We got the Seahawks versus Commanders, starting with the Sunday night game. We got 3-point spread over under of 48.5, and I'm taking Deebo Samuel over 52.5 receiving yards. McLaurin's out. Daniels is finally back, and him and Debo have certainly had a interesting connection throughout the year. So that's something that I would assume they go right back to. Daniels coming back from a little injury, couple weeks out. He's probably going to look to Debo to kind of get him back in, get back in the groove, get the ball moving. Plus, 48.5, pretty high total here. Expect the ball to be moved quite a bit. Both defenses on both sides are not exactly top of the line. And going into the defense, Seahawks defense ranks 23rd against the pass. So they're in the bottom 10, and they're giving up over 230 passing yards per game. So we just need 52.5 of those, or 53, I guess, technically, to go to Deebo Samuel. The other real person who could pull away some pass yards is Zach Ertz, obviously. But I certainly think Debo is going to be able to get in there, get his 53 plus yards, may have 60, may have 65. We just need at least 53. And if they sling the ball like they're supposed to, this game goes how everybody's predicting. A lot of ball movement up and down the field relatively quickly. I think Debo is going to be one of the guys who comes out with quite a few yards. Up next, the Lions versus Vikings. 9.5-point spread, over under 47.5. I'm taking Jahmyr Gibbs over 76.5 rushing yards. He currently averages right around this mark. I think he's at 76 or 75. So he's right around this mark. And then going up against Vikings, 9.5-point spread. They're expecting, quite a bit of, the Lions lead here. Expecting to be playing ahead most of the game. So expecting, a little slower, a little run-heavy offense, especially late in the game. A lot of handoffs to kind of run the clock. That all goes to either Gibbs or Montgomery, and Gibbs could break this off in 1 or 2 runs. So that's kind of what we're looking for here. Plus, Vikings defense, one of the worst I think it is the worst or one of the worst against the run, averaging 130 yards per game allowed. So definitely not something great. He gives up, 75, 70, or 78, 77 yards to Jahmyr Gibbs. We're looking good here in this game. And again, he could break this, he could break a 50-yard runoff, no problem. Gibbs has definitely done that plenty of times. So over 76.5 rushing yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. Up next, we got the Colts versus Steelers. We got a 3.5-point spread, over under 50.5. And I'm taking Alec Pierce over 45.5 receiving yards. Honestly, I have him in fantasy, so I'm just kind of manifesting this to happen. And in reality, he does average about 65 a game. So this line definitely is quite a bit lower than where he's currently averaging. High total, expecting a lot of ball movement. And the Steelers defense ranked dead last in the passing game. Over 270 yards allowed through the air per game. So I certainly think, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones is going to come out here. He's going to be able to sling and go wherever he wants. And we know his main weapons. You got Michael Pittman and you got Alec Pierce. That's kind of who he's going to be going to. Warren has definitely stepped up, or Wallen. I think Warren's on the Dolphins. Wallen's here, or vice versa. I can't remember. But those are definitely another option that he has. But if they get 270 yards from Daniel Jones's arm, I expect Alec Pierce to have at least 50 of those. So I like Alec Pierce here, over 45.5 receiving yards. Up next, Broncos versus Texans. We got a 1.5-point spread, over under 40.5. I'm taking the Broncos money line straight up. They are the underdogs in this game, which I don't think makes sense. I expect a tight game, obviously low scoring. I have this at 40. And I'm just going, honestly, with the better defense. If you're a low-scoring game, both teams aren't exactly explosive powerhouses. I'm just going Broncos defense is better than the Texans. And I think most people would agree with that. So I'm taking the Broncos money line straight up for them to win this. Not only is the Broncos defense better, the Broncos have more passing yards and more rushing yards on offense than the Texans. So again, I just don't know where this line is coming from. We have a 6-2 or 6-3 Broncos are, this is week 9, so it's gotta be 6-2, going up against a 3-4, 3-4-1 Texans, or 3-4 with a bye. I can't remember. I know they're 3-4, but yeah, I don't see how we're getting a team who's been winning consistently going up against a team who's certainly been struggling, and we're having them as the favorites, the struggling team. Doesn't make sense to me. I'm taking the Broncos money line. Plus odds make this even better. Last bet of the day, we are going Falcons versus Patriots. 4.5-point spread, over under 45.5. Taking a unique one, taking one that probably isn't backed a ton. Doing the Falcons money line, straight up on the money line for them to win. I want to preface, I know and I think the Patriots are the better team. This is a Falcons team that dropped 40 points on Buffalo, though, and they've been struggling the last 2 weeks. I think this is a get right. This is one of those, weird games. You don't think, this doesn't make you think the Patriots suck. This doesn't think you make the Falcons are playoff teams, but this could be a game that goes the Falcons' way. Just kind of where it's positioned. The Patriots have the Bucks next week, so they may be, looking ahead a little bit there. The Falcons having a pretty, they want to get right. They're not completely out of playoff contention, so I think they're going to want to knock off somebody who is a front runner. And right now the Patriots are, obviously front runners leading the AFC. So I think that's a team that they're going to definitely be gunning for. And the Patriots, they could certainly be looking ahead to the Bucks game. They have the Bucks, and then they're followed up by the Jets, which most people are like, Jets suck. Jets defense is real. I mean, that's what the Jets have been the last couple of years. That's what they've turned out the last couple of weeks. The start of the season was a little rough, but the Jets defense is, no easy feat. So I think they're definitely looking. The Patriots might be looking ahead a little bit. Falcons not the hardest team. I could certainly see this going the Falcons' way. So I am taking their money line. If you're not overly confident, it's like about plus 200 odds. You could throw half a unit on this, but I'm putting a full unit, and that's what we will track. So Falcons money line. Let me know if you guys are tailing all 5 best bets, which ones you like, which ones you don't, in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.